Breaking news: PDP tickets. Peter Obi blasts Northern elders and rejects the PDP consensus candidate. Hello, my wonderful people. If you want to ask me, I will say, what a country. Okay, really, what a country. This is a party, it's not your personal property. Okay, now, Northern elders met the likes of former heads of state, okay, Ibrahim Badamusi Babangida, and some other Northern elders had a meeting where the whole of PDP was not invited. They did their own thing, and at the end of the day, what happened? They picked their own as consensus candidate for the People Democratic Party. Excuse me, who does that? You just wake up one morning, you pick your candidate. Okay, what about the others? We brought you up to speed on that regard, and Peter Obi has vent out and saying these people are really sincerely unserious. You're not being serious here. Let's get all the details. PDP ticket. Peter Obi blast Northern elders and reject the PDP consensus candidates. In the process of choosing a standard flag bearer in the forthcoming presidential election, Mr. Peter Obi has rejected the proposed consensus candidates. The Anambra State-born politician frowned at the moment while addressing reporters after paying a visit to AIT office. The back attire gentleman who was putting on a senator's suit was not ready to entertain the desperate newsmen who wanted him to continue speaking. The few words he spoke were, Nigeria wants a creative, trusted, and constructive president who could solve their raging issues, not a consensus candidate, Obi concluded. It will be recalled that the Northern Elders has been clamoring for a consensus candidate who will fly the party presidential tickets. It's uncertain what they mean by that, whether a Northern consensus or all zones inclusive of the South producing one candidate whom they have not been able to emphatically state out. Recently, the Northern Elders declared Saraki and another Northern Balam Mohammed as consensus candidates. Governor Tabowa has since rejected the outcome, even though he was an apostle of the consensus candidates, Northern candidates meetings. After he was not chosen, he vehemently rejected it, saying he's not part of it. Some online carried polls has tipped Obi as the next president of Nigeria. After Obi ignored the newsmen and refused to speak further, he entered a black jeep and banged the door. Nigerians gathered at the screen shouting and singing, Obi, what do you think with consensus candidates? Are they going to have their way? Will the North be the one to decide for PDP who will bear the flag and who will fly the party ticket for PDP? Is this acceptable? Is this democracy? Is that what PDP wants? Did PDP give them the liberty to go ahead and choose for them? Why have they not chosen for other parties? I mean, like I said at the beginning, what effrontery, okay? They had a meeting. You don't understand. They had their meeting where everybody was not invited. They do their pick and it's come to tell you that this person is the consensus candidate. To whom it may concern, who did you call? Who did you consult? Who did you inform? Who had that agreement with you? How can you wake up one morning and tell to the people that you have chosen a consensus candidate? How does that work? You see, you can tell very vividly and clearly that the Northern elders are up to no good because they're about to, cause more harm than good, cause more trouble more than you can ever imagine. And this is what they stand for because you have not consulted with the party, with the people. You've not had that discussion. You've not concluded. You are not in synergy. Everyone is not on the same page. In fact, you are not a member of the party. Simply put, because you feel you are Northern elders and what you say become law, every other person should just queue up right behind you and say, thank you, boss, for speaking. So shall it be. And follow. Who does that? In what age and day? PDP is not your personal property that you wake up one morning, make a decision for, and just move on and take a stroll. You know, yeah, accept they are not the ruling party today, but that does not mean the Northerners will sit in the north, have a discussion, wake up one morning and bring it to everybody. Here's the conclusion, have it and take it and run with it. This was exactly what they did with the Nigerian constitution. Please take a trip back to memory lane. Let's go back to that lane called memory lane and let's see what happened there. This was Nigeria coming out of military rule. Okay, Olusegun Obasanjo, apparently in quote and unquote, election has been done and has won the election. She become the democratic president from 1999. They handed him, are you listening? They handed him a constitution. What constitution is that? How can that govern the nation? How can that be the bedrock on which the nation is governed? He picked it and started running with it. What a shame. And that is what has brought us here to where we are. One of the first things that is given to you from a wrong system is that immediately you pick it up. It's coming from the military. So it's not for the people. Immediately you pick it up, you set up a committee to look into it. Lawyers, everybody who could potentially you give and pick it up and begin to look at it, reevaluate and run, put it back together, instigate a committee and see to it how these things can work. And then you can begin to put perspective into it. Then you handed that same constitution over to late Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. From late Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, we moved on. The same constitution was handed over to Goodluck Jonathan. Yes, Goodluck Gubele Jonathan started some work on that very said, piece of constitution, the fraudulent one, by the way, hoping to conclude it. In fact, by speaking, he made what's his name, Erufai, the chairman of that committee, to look into the constitution to put it in such a way that it suits Nigeria. Okay, that becomes Nigerians, a workbook on how things should go. And so he began to look into this thing and thinking he will conclude it after the election. But sadly, we saw that INEC declared Buhari won. I know that very INEC official who has gone on to declare that Buhari won, if he goes back in time, he will regret every single action he or she has taken. Oh, by the way, in 2015, Nigerians did vote. So to a large extent, we can't say that there was one rig or fraud or this or that. Nigerians did vote because they were deceived. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Please don't forget to like us, share, subscribe. God bless. Have a lovely day. Bye for now.